I am Kate. I am a survivor of Munchausen syndrome by proxy.
One of the things that I've pondered lately about Gypsy Rose is what would have happened if Dee Dee Blanchard had survived the brutal attacks? What would have happened with Gypsy Rose? What would have happened with Nicholas Godejohn if Dee Dee Blanchard had survived those attacks and she was either able to speak about what happened, she was either able to talk about all the medical stuff and records and the doctors and all this other stuff that happened to Gypsy. What would have happened if she would have survived? Would it have given Gypsy Rose the celebrity that she has right now? Would there have been a lot of movies and documentaries and reality TV show projects out there? What would have happened? I have to ask myself that sometimes. So I want to review some of the comments that you guys left me on my last video where I talked about adaptive Kate and kind of just some of the inconsistencies and things and concerns that I have. Overall, her wanting to wear this MVP as a form of sharing a story of what she has alleged is her abuse. Let me be very clear. What I know about Kate is what she shared online. As much as you all probably know about Kate, I don't know the details to other things other than what she has told her audience and her followers, other than what she has said. Um, that's what I know about Kate. Okay. I think it's fair to use what she says about herself to question a bit about what's going on. Okay. I don't doubt that Kate has been through some level of abuse. Please note that. So, for those that are coming into my comments saying this is what she went through and why aren't we believing her? I'm not saying that I don't believe her. What I'm saying is that her mother doesn't have this MVP diagnosis. What I'm saying is that, in my opinion, Kate is driving this diagnosis to push a narrative about her family based on what she's put out there, but it's never been confirmed and her mom's never been diagnosed. There hasn't been any formal diagnosis that we know of. And that's very dangerous for her to do, as well as others like Gypsy Rose. Okay. Dee Dee Blanchard is no longer here, right? To be questioned, to be asked about her movements, her doctor shopping, or all these things that have been alleged about her, right? She's not here for that. However, Kate's mom is, and she's given the appropriate communication and maybe statements to straight out of context the creator that has exposed adaptive Kate. And so my thing is, for those that are outraged about people questioning, I need you to step back and listen to what's being said. A lot of people that are there are coming from a place of being hurt or have gone through something similar. But if you look at the big picture, these are questions that everybody has, right? And instead of being a reactive type of community, it's best to ask questions. And I think that's what we're doing, honestly. I'm not harassing this woman or any of them for that matter. I would ask that you guys don't direct any harassment or anything like that to any of those women. But I think it's important that people ask questions. And it's like the healthiest thing we can do, because the people that we have questions about are no longer here. But adaptive Kate's mom is, and she's sharing portions of what looks to be a very plausible side to straight out of context. Now, I'm going to link straight out of context video and channel in the description box. You guys go check it out because she's done extensive and good research on all of this that's happening. Someone in my comments said Kate admitted to not having the diagnosis. This is a screenshot out of straight out of context video. And in this screenshot, Kate is literally calling herself a survivor of Munchausen by proxy. Okay, that's what she's calling herself. / factitious disorder, a survivor story. And she's literally using the hidden true crime video interview that we just reviewed a little bit yesterday on her link tree, as well as her Cash App and TikTok. Now, like I said, I don't necessarily care about her making money off of her story. This is social media. Everybody makes $1. When she makes videos like that with such titles, Survivor, and then her link tree is like Survivor of, she's leading people to believe that this is a diagnosis that has been placed upon her family, that her mom has it, or her, caretaker had it, or whatever it may be. She's leading people to believe that versus really just saying, listen, this is what I believe. I'm on a mission to find out if this is what it is. In some videos, like Hidden True Crime, for example, she was seeking validation for, somebody to agree with her. Yeah, based on this, it looks like you could have this or something to that effect. But the reality is this, her mother's never been formally diagnosed. Nobody, her caretakers haven't. So it's one of those things where it's like you are misinforming the people. And there are no disclaimers that have been on her TikToks or her videos or anything like that. There are no disclaimers out there. So, in my opinion, it's very misleading. We've seen things like this happen before on social media, when people lead other people to believe that this is what's going on, and then they get scammed or then they get taken advantage of. And like I said, this isn't about her alleged childhood abuse. If she suffered through that, that could very well be her story. But her family has not been diagnosed with any of this, so she cannot be a survivor of this. And that's problematic. You're making money off of making people believe that you're a survivor of this. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Now, I wish that I could say it's just Kate. Gypsy Rose, if you guys go on Google, and this is just a screenshot of a Google search that I did, okay? If you Google search Gypsy Rose Blanchard Munchausen by proxy, okay? You'll find these searches, all right? Search it how I'm putting it up here. I'm showing you guys my Google search, okay? And the first story is the biography. It says that you could just read it on that first part. When Gypsy was 14, she saw a neurologist in Missouri who came to believe she was a victim of Munchausen by proxy. Okay, so that goes into detail about Gypsy's medical history and some of the doctors that she encountered and some of the medical professionals that believe that there might be more to what's going on with Gypsy, and it's being caused by Dee Blanchard. Okay. Following the biography link, then you have People, MSNBC News, People, and then Forbes. If you read People, it literally says Gypsy Rose Blanchard was a victim of Munchausen by proxy at the hands of her mother. That's People. Keep going down. MSNBC News says her story proves Munchausen by proxy is child abuse. Gypsy Rose and her mother, Dee Blanchard. Okay, that's the search. Another People search. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is opening up about her mother's Munchausen by proxy, which led the woman to abuse Gypsy for years. And it keeps going and going and going. When you search Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Munchausen by proxy, you're going to find the media, you're going to find a lot of web links that say this is what Dee Blanchard was diagnosed with. No, because she was not alive to be assessed. She was murdered. Okay, so you can't give her that. But this is an example of what Google and other folks will have you believe. And that's the part that is dangerous. Okay, now, somebody said in my comments, Dee definitely had that disorder, diagnosed or not. How do I argue with somebody that says that? You can't. I guess we can just give people disorders and, screw the DSM, screw the people that dedicate themselves years and years in the field of mental health or psychiatry or psychology or whatever. If all we're going to say is Dee definitely had that disorder, diagnosed or not, because that literally means that anybody can just give blanket diagnosis. And I've talked about this on my channel. We tend to use the word narcissism way too much and we just throw it out there. So and so is a malignant narcissist. So and so is a sociopathic narcissist. So and so is a this narcissist. So and so is that kind of narcissist and this kind of narcissist. And when we do that, these disorders, these illnesses, they lose meaning. They don't mean anything anymore after a while. How many times have you not heard a creator or somebody, in the media say, in my opinion, so and so is this, so and so is that, and that's fine if that is your opinion. If you're, qualified to work, whatever it may be, maybe you have some experience that a lot of us don't. That's absolutely fine. But it's dangerous to just walk around and say, so and so is this, and based on my experience. Sometimes our own experiences can cloud our judgment, right? So we need to be a little bit more open-minded. So when I hear somebody say, Dee definitely had that disorder diagnosed or not, then I don't have an argument to that because, okay, there's nothing more to it. Your word has said it all, and it is what it is, right? How do you argue with somebody like that? You can't. You can't. There was a case, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of it. I did cover some of it here. There was a documentary that was done about it by the name of Take Care of Maya. And I played this clip over and over. It was about a doctor by the name of Sally Smith. Basically, mom was accused of causing her daughter to be ill. There were so many negative consequences that happened from that accusation to the family. So much so that Maya's mom felt like she couldn't do it. She, ended her life. People need to understand that something like MBP it's hard to diagnose, and it requires a lot of research. It's not a lot of. And I worked in CPS for 10 years, guys. There was in a lot of cases with such a diagnosis, and it's not that it's underdiagnosed. It's just that there's research that goes behind looking into such accusations, and it's a big accusation to accuse, somebody of making somebody sick, okay, or her medically harming, especially a child, right? One of the things that Kate does is there's a lot of deflection. She says that she's being attacked on social media, her stories being attacked on social media, she's being blamed because she wants to be like Gypsy Rose or whatever.
I do know it's hard right now, as I have been a survivor attacked on social media, on TikTok, ever since Gypsy Rose was released. A lot of people know her story. Most people know her story. And I cannot share my story without many horrible comments invalidating me, saying I'm stealing her story, saying I'm not a real survivor, that I just want her fame and her clout. And that is not what I'm trying to do. I've been sharing my story for 3 years. Gypsy is not a part of my story. My story has nothing to do with hers. I'm not stealing details from her story. And I do really hate that we are invalidated and made to be.
I don't believe that's the case. The case is that she is, in my opinion, Kate is trying to attach herself to an illness that has not been given formally to her mother. Basically, prompt herself to be a survivor of this. And it's a little concerning. I don't take away from the fact that, she's probably survived some level of, abuse, just like Gypsy Rose. I'm sure of it. But if we're just going to be given labels, and like lady over here said, diagnosed or not, so and so had this disorder, then that would be considered a witch hunt at this point. That's just my opinion. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. I don't always get it correct, but that's just my thought. I'll see you guys on the next one.